All right, cool.
This meeting is being recorded.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know it did that. This meeting is being recorded. All right. Well, I'll start with a little introduction of me first, and then we can move on. So, you mentioned, what am I doing? I'm traveling consistently. So I started doing the digital nomad life, and it's been a lot of fun. We've been doing it for the last 3 months. It's been hectic, very hard, a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. You have to be very organized, know what you're doing. You have to do a lot of homework and research for your Airbnbs. And we've had 2 Airbnbs that have failed us miserably with problems and ant problems. But at the same time, if you look at my Instagram and Facebook, I try to do my best to tell people the hardness as well as share the beauty of, like, 2 days ago, we went on a dolphin tour and we saw hundreds of dolphins, which is beautiful. We went snorkeling and saw octopus. We've been moving every month or so to different places. So that we are in our 4th place at the moment. And we started in Mexico. We have 2 more places to head to in Mexico. Then we're going to head to Costa Rica, possibly Brazil, Argentina, Chile. So we're starting doing the Latin American route. And I started digital nomading because I'm a digital marketer. And so I do everything online, as well as I have Red Tent. So my entire life is online. And Yusuf and I we're not just doing this for fun. We're doing this first off because we wanted to support other areas of the world, see what else is out there, because we were very much in our bubble in Florida. And there's so many different cultures and ways of supporting that we're not even aware of. So, like, I'm signed up to do an event here. Maybe not a women's circle because they want me to do co-ed. So I'm trying to figure out how that's going to work, and just opening my horizons as well as ways to serve. And as well as we're looking for, although I love Florida as my root base and a lot of sisters are there, I've always felt since I was young that I'm meant to live somewhere else. So I'm trusting the vibe. And we already traveled around the US for the last 2 years in our Subaru car with the mattress in the back. I'll show you a picture at some point. And it was absolutely fun, camping on a fire with our cast iron that we would take around and clean, and jumping into rivers for showers. And we saw most of the states that we wanted to visit. So we did that. And then we were like, well, we haven't found the area that we want yet, that we want to call home. So we said, well, we tried the US, time to go outside and see what we could find. And along the way, we've met some sisters and some new friends, and I'm excited to show them to Red Tent. And I think, one of the things I really want to do is connect to other Red Tents around the world and other priestesses around the world, and really grow the Red Tent brand and kind of take it around with me as well. So I consider myself like a traveling priestess, as well as a digital nomad and digital marketer. So that's what I'm doing. And outside of Red Tent and digital marketing, the main thing I do with my husband is that we have a publishing company. So we're writing a book right now, which is, I'm literally formatting it today. So the editing is done, the writing is done, the book cover's done. I'm the last stages. So I'm being driven insane with it, almost there. And so that is my life.
That sounds amazing.
Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Sounds good to hear it all.
So you're originally from Florida, and your mom is Marlu?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm also trying to make the connection.
I will also add that Claudia Nieves married my father. So I have a stepmom now. So we have family. We have family involved.
Oh, that's so cool. And then how do you and Claudia here know each other?
Oh my goodness. I'll take this one. And I'll do a segue into about me. And then we'll come back to the Red Tent. So we met at Gratitude. Are you familiar with Gratitude training by any chance?
No.
Okay. So it's a transformational training, and it has you go through different, I think it has 3 different trainings. And so they also offer workshops, and there was one workshop called the Sacred Feminine. And I was ready to do the last part of Gratitude training. And I was like, all right, the Sacred Feminine is a perfect training to kind of, wet my toes and get back into the community again. And so I did. And of course, I'm in this all the priestessing world, so I was super curious to see how they were going to present the sacred feminine and go through that journey. So I sit the first day, and then I turn around, and then there's Jaslin sitting next to me on the first day. And it was like, we just looked at each other and it's like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, it really, I knew in that moment, that like we were meant to do something together. It just like, we didn't really even have to introduce ourselves too much, it's just like, we just knew. And of course, later we learned through some quantum healing sessions that Jaslin did that we've been, and some Akashic readings too, that we've been actually doing together in many lifetimes. We've done it in Greece. We've done it in just many lifetimes. And we bring women together. We do ritual together. We work with the mother together. We give our blood back to the earth together, And so we like found each other again. And so it was really amazing. Like the rest is history. She learned that I was holding red tents in my home here in Davie. And she came to get a couple of circles in person, and then the pandemic hit. So I was like, all right, let's bring this online, right? Because we were in the lockdown, and I wasn't sure how holding space online was going to look like, because I've never done it. And it's always been so, like in person. And so, okay, let's give it a try. And of course, Jaslin, that's her space. She comes from the digital world. So it was like the perfect marriage of the two. And we both feel very much aligned in like our passion to helping women tune into their sacred feminine and connect with the mother and give back, and all of these practices that are coming back. And so it's been an amazing journey. Flowed super organic and natural, and we're growing red tent organically. And it's a feminine business, so we're not forcing anything into being, or what I mean, we're just letting it grow and kind of take form, and then bring other sisters in, and then you get to come into this mix. And now that Jasmine's traveling the world, and she gets to spread the message, and then I'm kind of in a opposite space than her. I am so deeply grounded here in Florida. It's not my home. I'm originally from Venezuela.
Okay.
I moved when I was 16, so this is now my new home. It's been my new home for 25 years or so. And so I've gotten married here, I've had children here, I've gotten divorced here, I've remarried here, with my current husband. And so I feel very deeply rooted. We have children that are in school, and I really feel like this is going to be my home for a while. It's not going to be my home forever. I know that, right? So right now I'm here, and I even checked in with the records, and they know, like they've said, we're here, and it's important that we're here, me and my husband, because we both all hold space together as well. So it's important for us to be here right now. Like Florida needs it. We really get to be the anchor for both the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine during this time. So it's like all aligned, deeply guided by spirit and the goddess. And my background is I'm a graphic designer by trade. So I bring in the visual and she is a copywriter, right? Digital marketer. So it's like the perfect mix. It's perfect. It's like, you know what I mean? He's a manifested generator. I'm a projector. And we just really work really well together, and also done transformational trainings. And, so like we really bring all of it to the mix, and bringing this very ancient practices with a modern twist, adapted to modern times with technology and all that, as you've been able to, experience. So it's very unique. And I'm just so grateful for the experience. And, it really feels like we're going into our third year. And it's like, we've kind of worked on the foundation. It's like now we're like solidifying and refining. And, it's really a beautiful space. So thank you for, being a yes and being here and being part of it and wanting to know, more about the sisterhood. Yeah, it's really been an amazing journey.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I feel like I've been looking for community, And there's something about this community that just really resonates. It feels really authentic. Everybody feels like they're showing up in their realest versions of themselves, raw. And I also really appreciate the support level. Like everybody seems to be really supportive of each other. And that's really beautiful to witness and to be part of. So I'm really grateful that somehow Red Tent Goddesses came into my awareness. Kim was the one that invited me, and I met her at a Tantra speed dating event. So you never know when you're gonna meet fellow soulmates.
Exactly. Yes, Kim is
I have a follow-up question in terms of your like spiritual influence. What would you say is your like strong spiritual influences? Because I keep hearing a lot of different things throughout the events that I've attended, but I can't quite catch the thread yet of what is like your influence specifically, or multiple ones probably.
All right. So you want me to share first, or you want to share? I'll share my because again, this is not just mine and hers, right? This is kind of a collective. And when I say that, also, for me, like it's the Mother Goddess, right? That's my spiritual influence. Is the Mother Goddess in all of her forms and faces and all of it. And then and Mother Earth and that. And then more specifically, I consider myself an Egyptian witch. I recently just learned that word. I have a super, super strong connection with Egypt. I have lived in Egypt before. I've been a priestess in the past. And I work specifically with the lioness goddess Sekhmet, who found me 3 years ago and reminded me that we work together. And so right now at the moment, because it shifts, it used to be Kali. I've also gone through the Hindu pantheon, right? So at the moment it's her, and it's the Egyptian pantheon. But I really I really, in my heart, it's just the mother. And for me, that's the biggest influence is bringing that remembrance forth, right? So the reminder sisters, of how things used to be. And then that resurrection of the feminine. I really feel like we're part of the movement right now, because of how important it is. It's like it's already been too much on the other side with the masculine and the patriarchy, and it's shifting. It is shifting. It's gonna take time and all that, but it's that time to bring the balance. So that's what I would say for me. And of course, angels and ascended masters. I really have like a deep spiritual practice. I am currently in a mystery school, and so there's just been a lot. And I just got trained to work with angels, which I'm really excited. Actually, I'm excited to bring that forth. Yay! And I'm a Reiki master. I'm a healer. So really, I realize now I work more with the higher realms than with the shamanic. The shamanic realm is really not my space. What about you?
Okay. So my spiritual journey started really young. So both of my parents were Christian, but our church was very open-minded in general, but it was very God-based. And I remember when I was really, really young, I rose my hand in class and I was like, so where's the goddess in the Bible? And I remember their face was like, what? Like, there is no goddess in the Bible. And I was like, there has to be. So when I was 12 years old, I would go to the New Age section. My parents were like, what? Like, she's not going to the fiction section. She's not going to the young adult section. She's going to the New Age section. I'm picking up reincarnation and witch books, and they're kind of worried about me at this point, right? But for some reason, when I was reading a book about Wiccanism and the word priestess came up, I remember my hand going over the line, and I stayed there and just stared at the word. And was like, there's something about this word that just resonates with me. And I knew that, either I've been this before, or I'm gonna be it again, or both. And so that was me at like 12 years old, right? And throughout high school, like we had to do a presentation on a religion, and I picked Wiccanism, and everybody was like, what the fuck is this? Like, who is this girl? And like, like what is happening right now? But you know what? I had people from other classes coming in just to see that PowerPoint. So even though everybody was like, what is happening right now? Everybody was interested, and people were talking about it for weeks. Okay. I still have people that message me like, now I connect to Wiccanism years later, and I remembered your PowerPoint, so like I've been bringing in spirituality little by little. So I started with like Wiccanism and witchy stuff, and I was connected to witch history, and I feel like I was a witch possibly in the Salem trials or somewhere else. I do connect as well with Egyptian pantheons and Greek, and I've always loved mythology and all those different things. Now, because I've had such a history with the Bible, and my mom is very into like Mother Mary since she was very young, I've gone into Gnosticism, which means inner knowing, and it's what if you look into the Nag Hammadi library, which is the other pieces of the Bible. So the Bible has 66 books, but there's hundreds of books out there that were supposed to be in the Bible before the Vatican decided that only 66 of the books would be in there that they specifically chose. Okay. So there were people that took the rest of the Bibles and hid them so the Vatican Church couldn't put them on fire. And now they're coming out into the world through the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Nag Hammadi library. And I devoured those books. I found the goddess in them. I found the goddess in the Bible. So when that happened, I was just like, check mark, full, take that, church. And it really got me. So I went off on this whole Mary Magdalene journey of really connecting to that side. And then something happened maybe 5 years ago now, where my period has always been all messed up. And I was very irregular, and I would have months where something wouldn't happen, and then it would just come all of a sudden. And I wasn't very grounded. And it was only that first year really that happened, which I didn't know that was normal when that first year that you get your period. And the gynecologist was like, here's a pill. And I normally don't take pills and things like that, but this was such an area that I just didn't understand. It was causing so much pain for me that for the next 7 years, I took birth control pills. And then one day I was in I'm creating a book club online, creating a women's sisterhood book club group online. And I pick up the book called Wild Power by Alexandra Pope and Shani. And it's about the menstrual cycle and the power of the menstrual cycle. It's the center of the divine feminine. And after reading this book, I was like, I'm off birth control. I'm going to find a way to detox, and I'm just going to make this a part of my life. So I really connect with Mother Earth now, Gaia, cyclical living, moon cycles, connecting with the menstrual cycles. And like, I don't know how many women I've asked, but like, Asha, I love asking this question. Do you know how many phases of the menstrual cycle there are?
Yes, I am an avid tracker myself with that.
Oh, okay.
I started using your charts maybe 2 months ago, or like when I first came in contact with you guys, and I'm like, these are so beautiful. Way nicer than what I was using.
Perfect. That's amazing. Yeah. So normally I'll ask women and I'll be like, there's 4 menstrual cycle phases. And they'll just look at me like, wait, what? Like, can you pause? Like, there's menstrual cycle and then there's ovulation. What the hell are the other two? So I've gone on this whole process of teaching the women that, and we have replays of the first 2 years of different things. So if you're interested in seeing all the things, yeah. Ooh. So we have all of that. And after I started going through the menstrual cycle stuff, I ended up learning about something that happened in my past that I used to write down, and then I used to rip it up and throw it away and pretend like it never happened. And I'm not going to go deep into that, but it really hit me. And there was some sexual things that happened, and I ended up really connecting to my womb space at that time and really healing from that space through womb work. So when that started happening, I started learning more about womb healings and how to use herbs and supplements, and really start making my own products, start taking care of my body so that I could release all that energy. So I created a course that's within the Red Tent Mighty Networks that's called Womb Shamans. And it helps women to heal from their bodies, as well as learn how to become how to support others in being wound healers. I don't like to call myself a wound healer because really it's the client that is the wound healer, and I'm just guiding them throughout the process. So I've tried to make that clear. And really, for my husband met me because of the sun tattoo, and I've always connected to earth and the physical. So he connects a lot to the sun. And recently I'm thinking of getting a tattoo on this side for the black hole, just like a big black dot at this point, because I just connect so deeply with the black hole as the center of every galaxy in the universe. Like, just what blows my mind. There's something bigger than our entire solar system, and it revolves around this huge black hole that, like, it's a big vagina. It's a big yoni at this point. And so when I learned about the black hole and that it's the womb where it literally spits us out, and then we're spending hundreds of billions of years just coming back into her, something about that just calls me. And to me, that is the mother. So the mother goddess. So yes, we play with different, like, we're called red tent goddess on purpose, right? And we do play with different pantheons and ways of viewing the goddess with different archetypes. But at the end of the day, it all comes back to that main goddess. And for me, that is the black hole. So that is my journey.
Oh my God, there was so much there that I could relate to. We'll have to do like a catch up, because our journeys were very aligned in some ways. I used to gravitate to the New Age section too. And when we moved here at 16 from Mexico, I declared that I was no longer Catholic.
I did the same thing. I was like, all right, I'm done. I literally just like at 16.
I'm not Catholic anymore. Somehow I ended up converting to Judaism years later.
My God, I did the same thing. Oh, and when I converted to Judaism, I was like, oh my God, this is so liberating. You can literally go from like one major religion to another major religion. It's like, what? So that's when I let all of it go. I was like, I don't want to do one thing.
I have so many questions, but yeah, we'll do like a separate catch up. But yeah, like I gravitated to like the New Age section, and Wicca was the first book that I picked up. And I suddenly, at 16-year-old, I was like, Mom, I want to be a witch. And it freaked the hell out of her. Oh she's like, what's happening right now to my daughter? And then, I got introduced. I did that for a little while, got introduced to Judaism, and then did that. I've been Jewish for the last, I don't know, over a decade. And what I'm feeling in my journey right now is this pull and drop back to the goddess, back to paganism, back to, it feels like back to myself. Mm-hmm. And I really love the diversity here of like your paths, because I'm sure, like, to me, I've learned that it's not that I'm denying these parts of me, that I'm like, oh, okay, so maybe I'm not practicing everything that I used to do when I was Orthodox Jewish. But that doesn't mean that part of me left. I'm not killing off that part of me. I'm not denying that part of me. On the contrary, I'm trying to figure out, how do we integrate all these beautiful wisdoms that I've collected and that my soul has been exposed to. So I loved so much hearing about your journeys and your spiritual influences, because it's just confirmation to me that I am so in the right place for me.
And I can't wait for you to hear the different sisters. We're going to have to do a spiritual journey share sisterhood circle, because really the different sisters, like we have sisters that came from Jehovah's Witness and are now into God. Like we have Catholic and Jewish, and we have so many different that have just like, and they all bring their gifts, and they all have, in my opinion, they all have some kind of truth. And really, we're just putting them together and finding our own balance. And like, that's what this sisterhood is so open to everything. Like whatever you want to bring it on. That's what I think. We even have people that connect more with like other gods. Like we have a sister that is a priestess of Odin, and like, do your thing, girl. Like have some fun. Like bring in healing. As long as you're doing love and kindness, if that's your main thing, we're good to go here.
Amazing.
Oh my goodness, that's super cute. I love all the connections. We definitely need another call to just continue on story-wise, because there's so many similarities. That's
Yes,
incredible.
maybe a storytelling evening.
Yeah, but it's amazing, right? Because it makes a difference when we know where everybody comes from and the journeys they've been, and yeah, and I love that we're here. It's like we're all kind of going everywhere, and like the goddess is the main thing, really, that's the glue.
Wow. Thank you. I want to be sensitive about time, but if you still have a few more minutes, I'd love to, I guess the next question would be, how do I contribute to our sisterhood, and how can I, and then what do I receive? Like also, like what do people come, and when they become sisters, like what is the reciprocity there? And then maybe we can wrap up with that.
Okay. So I guess I'll start, and then Jaslin can always add add to it. So what was your first question, is what you can give?
How do I share with like I hear, like I can tell already that there's a wide diversity of like gifts and talents that everybody has, and I see in the group chats people sharing of themselves, of other resources. So how do I contribute to the well-being and the awesomeness of the sisterhood? In sharing my gifts and talents, or sharing other people's gifts and talents, or like a little bit more about that would be great.
I love it. And you already have, when you like share your products. That's amazing. I'm super excited about, being able to get my hands on some of those, as I shared. So yeah, it's like, how do you share your gifts? So you have the chat, you have the ability to connect, and then just share in the moment, anything specific that you come into that you think that the sisters are going to benefit from. We invite constantly our sisters to share their services, like their gifts. And you can let us know, like, this is what I love doing. This is what these are my gifts, so what are your gifts? Perhaps we can start there. And then, most of the time it kind of organically flows into how to offer it. So then we also give women an opportunity to share a class or multiple classes. So you can share your knowledge as well if you want to educate other women's. And so what we do ask is, we have a 3-month period, because we've had, we're just learning from the past. We like to give a woman some time to get used to the sisterhood, to get to know the sisters, kind of get to know the flow.
And for them to get to know you as a sister first, before coming in as a promotional version of yourself, right? Like a lot of us are used to coming in from business-wise with a masculine set automatically, like, buy my product. So we like to give them time to get into their feminine, get into the sisterhood, and then it'll automatically just come out. Like women are going to ask you, like, Asha, so what do you do? And how can we support you? And all these different things. So allowing it to come less from a place of like, let me put it out there, and more of like receiving and allowing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Claudia. I just want to add that.
No, thank you for that. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's organic. And yeah. And so for, even for the master classes, again, there's some women that have knowledge. And to me, that's the biggest way you can contribute, is by putting together a class. Anything that you're knowledgeable about and passionate about that can support other women. And then, it was just coming through. It's like, okay, it's the spring. We're going to launch like our next round of master classes, and then, invite the women to share, because it gives them an opportunity to put themselves out there. Maybe I know you teach workshops and classes. So perhaps, this is not your first rodeo, but it's, I want you to look at, the sisterhood as like a platform, right, for you, also to, like, again, share your gifts. And then it's like, how do we make how do we improve and help the sisters? And we do it together in a myriad of forms, and like, kind of like intuitively, it's, it's going to happen. But I know that that's one of the best ways, that you can do that. You share your knowledge, and then the sisters can get to know you, which is amazing. And then, of course, at the end, you can share your services, and, it's amazing because you have products that can directly support all of us, so that's really what we welcome. And what else? Is there anything else that I may be missing?
So if you have any classes that are coming up yourself, like things that you're doing yourself, you can definitely invite the Sisters and Meet Point. We also have the Mighty Networks. So if you can put it on Mighty Networks, and we have an area in Mighty Networks that's called Giving Back the Out Breath, or if you need support, the in breath. So you can kind of look at those two areas in Mighty Networks and put, if you need support in this, you can go in there. Or if you'd like to give back to sisterhoods, or like, hey, I'd like to give out 3 free calls or anything like that, then you can put it back in Giving Back. If you want to do a giveaway, you can do that. And really coming from a place of service is important in the sisterhood. And then we also have a Facebook group. So if you wanted to, you can also share things in the Facebook group for sure. And we do ask in the Facebook group in particular that there's 80% sharing organically from whatever's going on in your life, and then 20% promotional, just to keep it fair and not get overloaded with promotions all the time. But Mighty Networks is a little bit more open for that. And yeah, we do have the Signal chat itself. We do have as well the new moons and full moons. If there's any practices, like if you see something and you look at our events and you're like, okay, so there's a full moon in Scorpio coming up, and I feel like I could add in this exercise into that, and it'll be 10, maybe 30 minutes maximum. Feel free to ask us, because we love it.
Yes, we love that.
We love it when sisters come in and bring their own stuff, and I'll move my stuff to another new moon or full moon. I have more than enough stuff to share. Like, I'm good. I love it when we can like kind of just put in a bunch of sisters on there. So feel free. We also do have, like, for example, we have the holiday party at the end of the year, which comes in December, where we do a raffle, which we tend to do around like Mother's Day as well, which we haven't talked about. Mother's Day is coming up soon, I believe. Oh snap, we gotta figure out if we're gonna do that. But we have like 1 to 2 big raffles a year that we do, and then you could give away something at that time. So maybe it's a course or a class or a service or something of that sort, and that also allows the other girls to kind of know more about what you're doing by giving away a raffle, and like, okay, so Asha's giving this away, and like I'll normally give away a womb healing or something of that sort, or my womb shaman course or something of that sort. And then people were like, oh, okay, so she's the womb girl, and if there are questions in the Signal chat, or even in Mighty Networks, or even in the Facebook group that you might see of like, hey, does anyone have any support for this? Or I have PCOS, how can you support me? Or anybody does herbal work? And when that comes up, like, as long as we know what you do, that'll be really important. We also have a Google sheet where we put the services that the girls have. So I'll send that over to you so that you can put in your name and what you do. And then we can tell the girls like, hey, Asha put her stuff in, so that you can see the list of what other girls do, as well as have your information there as well.
Yes. And I know there's a lot. And and then just like showing up to the events. It was awesome to have you here in person, and you're welcome to come earlier, whatever, we can work it out so it's a little less traffic for you. It's usually when you're coming from the east and the west. Because like you'll get to know the sisters, and you probably already have, you start to see, okay, this is, you start to kind of connect with them, and then they start to connect with you. And, it's just, again, it's like this, like, beautiful support that goes back and forth. And like, feel free at any time to ask for support. Like, sisters, I need healing, I need some Reiki, I woke up today and I'm not feeling well. Like, please, put it out there, let us hold you, let's support you. There's it's been really beautiful to see that support, that ongoing support. And we've had sisters that we've literally raised from like depression out into facilitating of red tents, what I mean? Like, really doing some amazing things. So definitely, tap into the space. This is what we're, this is the whole essence of sisterhood, right? Of like collaboration. Also, so if you get ideas, like I've had a, sister that asked me about doing a self-management ceremony. I was like, oh my God, I'll put one together. So I'm going to be doing that. And so if there's anything else that you want to see, or ideas that come through, like Jaslin said, for either of the circles or anything like that, like we're always helping, encouraging that. And it's actually interesting because I recently learned from one of the sisters who she said she's sat in like 50 different circles of red tents. Not all of them are so open to having other women come. They're very territorial. And they were like, no, this is my space. And if you try to share something, they get, kind of weird about it. I was like, oh my God. So kind of remembering that, it's a unique space, like you said, it's probably why you feel it's so open. And we do, believe in that collaboration. We don't believe in competition. There's plenty for everybody, so bring all of yourself and like the good and bad, all of it. And then let us embrace you through that.
Yeah. And even if you do something that somebody else does, you're a different person. So like, don't worry about that either. And yeah, we do our best to make sure that even though Claudia and I started Red Tent Goddess, I don't consider myself, I think Claudia would agree that I consider every sister as a leader of this group. And if it wasn't for the sisterhood in general, this wouldn't exist. So it's really important for every sister to come in and to bring their joy, bring their love, bring their passions. And we all create what the sisterhood looks like. It's not that like Claudia and I hold the container, make sure that the vision is being contained, but please add to the bucket please add to the bucket.
I love that so much. Like I'm sitting here and I'm just like so moved. I mean, I want to cry. Like I can feel my eyes welling up because I feel so moved and so like, so aligned. And the word that keeps coming up is like, I feel home. So thank you for creating this.
Oh my goodness.
Creating this beautiful space.
Thank you so much. And hearing you that, it's like, like the effort and all the work we put together is like, okay, this is our dream, this is our vision. And yeah, we thank you for being a confirmation of that and keeps fueling more of that vision, to keep bringing this forth. And there's still, there's so much. I still feel like we're in this like baby stage, so that means a lot. And it's really, you can feel it's coming from an abundant heart. And I do feel like this kind of energy, right? Like now you get to experience that and then you can bring that forth, right? So it's like, the ripple effect is going to happen. It's happening slowly. And it's important for people to feel that and not feel constrained and like they can't be themselves, or if like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, so amazing. Welcome. So excited to get to, to know you deeper and, see your gifts and share your gifts and just go on this beautiful journey together. Feel free to invite women too, as they can come. We say to events, of course, like, like if they want to come, we're not so strict about it, right? But ultimately, the ones who align, they end up joining,
Right?
Because it's,
Yeah, sounds good.
Yes, exactly. That's what we.
Amazing. Thank you so much. This has been wonderful, and I feel closer and more confident around how to show up in the sisterhood. So thank you for that. Yeah, I feel complete. Is there anything else that you would want me to know, or anybody else watching the replay?
I think we're gonna do another one most likely, or maybe even still do a video just to like kind of show off Mighty Networks a bit so that you could feel a little bit more comfortable. But I would absolutely love if you could support us in adding content into Mighty Networks. And if articles you find, YouTube videos you find, songs you want to share, things like that, because the core sisterhood was created on Signal to begin with, or it was WhatsApp and now it's moved to Signal. But we're paying a good chunk of our money to Mighty Networks. And right now it's kind of like a paperweight system. So we'd love to move the sisterhood, and any support that we can have in that would be very supportive for us. And it would really support the sisterhood as a total if the online temple, which you have over 180 members on there, could really get to experience the sisterhood more through that space. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I'll just end with in Marinere Cruz, we have sisters from all over the world. And so we're working on creating circles for the sisters in each city that live in the same city that they can connect, right? Because we're being called with that in common. And then we also have a facilitator training that we're working right now to help, initiate sisters into holding space so they can hold space and they can essentially do what we're doing, like what we did yesterday, right? And create that hub of sisters. Because we know that the in-person is so important, like that's a big piece that a lot of them call for. So that's what I see, and that's my vision. Is like I see these pockets, of sisters popping out everywhere. So yeah, again, it's been really beautiful to do this with you, Jaslin. Thank you. I'm so grateful all the time, and it's been an amazing experience. So really excited to have you. Yay.
All right, I'm gonna end the recording. So bye, recording girls. Thank you.